Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Edzite Classroom Podcast. We're diving into a chapter that connects directly to our daily lives, natural resources and their use.
It's a huge journey, isn't it?
It really is. We're going to unpack the whole process of crop production and management. It's pretty incredible when you think about it.
Absolutely. And our sources give us a really clear path starting way back in history, right up to the techniques farmers use today.
So we'll look at tools, seasons, all that stuff.
Exactly. Tools, seasons, why each step is just so critical for feeding, billions of people. Our goal today is really to give you that shortcut, that deeper understanding of what's behind the food on your plate.
Okay, let's get into it. And the journey starts, maybe surprisingly, not in a field, but way before fields were even a thing. Like 12,000 years ago, humans weren't farming at all.
That's right. Until about 10,000 BCE, people were nomadic, constantly moving, in groups, just looking for food, for shelter.
Eating raw fruits, vegetables.
Whatever they could find. Then something big changed. They figured out how to cultivate land, grow crops like rice, wheat.
And bam, agriculture is born. And this is where it gets really interesting, because it wasn't just about food security, was it?
Not at all. This shift was massive. It led to settled communities, the foundation for, everything. Villages, towns, cities.
It basically allowed us to feed a much larger population reliably.
Precisely. And that idea of a crop, it just means growing the same kind of plant like wheat, all together in one place on a large scale. That's what enabled this whole transformation.
Right. And before we dive into the how of farming, maybe a quick touch on the why. Why do we even need all this food? Seems obvious, but
it's fundamental. All living things, us included, need food for energy. Simple as that.
Energy for everything our bodies do, right?
Yeah.
Breathing, digesting.
Exactly. All those essential functions. Plants, interestingly, make their own food. But animals, including us, we rely on plants or other animals or both. It's the basic fuel for life.
Okay. Fuel secured. Now let's talk about the sheer variety. India's agriculture is a great example, hugely influenced by its climate. Our sources talk about two main cropping patterns based on seasons.
Yeah. India is incredibly diverse climatically. Temperature, humidity, rainfall vary so much. This leads to these two broad categories, Kharif and Rabi.
Kharif. Right, Kharif crops are the ones sown during the rainy season. In India, that's generally June to September.
Okay, so monsoon crops.
Think paddy, that's rice, maize, soybean, groundnut, cotton, crops that really need that moisture.
Got it. And Rabi.
Rabi crops are the winter ones, grown from around October to March. These are things like wheat, gram, chickpeas, peas, mustard, linseed. They prefer cooler, drier conditions.
So it's all about timing and water needs, essentially? Why can't you say grow paddy in the winter?
It needs heat. It mostly needs water, a lot of water. Paddy is incredibly thirsty. Growing it in the dry winter season just wouldn't work without massive, probably unsustainable irrigation. So the rainy season is its natural slot.
Makes sense. These aren't just random labels. They reflect real agricultural constraints and opportunities.
Absolutely. And besides those two main seasons, you do see some pulses and vegetables grown during the summer in some places too. It shows how farmers adapt.
Okay, so we know why we farm and when certain crops are grown. Now let's get into the how. Our sources lay out 7 sort of core activities farmers do. These are the basic agricultural practices. Let's walk through them.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Step 1, preparing the soil. This feels like the absolute foundation. Turning it, loosening it up.
It really is foundational, and there's a crucial why here. Loosening the soil lets the roots go deep, find water, and importantly, breathe. Roots need air too.
Oh, right. I forget about that.
Yeah. And it also encourages earthworms and microbes. These guys are like the farmer's best friends. They break down organic matter, add humus, and keep the soil loose and healthy.
So it's not just digging, it's creating a whole living environment down there.
Exactly. And since only the top few centimeters of soil really support growth, turning it brings those nutrient-rich layers up where the plants can actually use them. This whole process is called tilling or plowing.
What tools are involved? I picture old wooden plows.
Traditionally, yes, plows of wood or iron pulled by animals like bulls. They'd have a strong iron tip, the plowshare. Nowadays, though,
Tractors?
mostly tractors, yeah. Driving cultivators, it saves so much labor, so much time, much more efficient for larger areas. After plowing, they break up any big clumps, the crumbs, and then level the field.
Why level it?
That's key for making sure water spreads evenly during irrigation and for sowing seeds consistently. Oh, and sometimes manure is added before tilling to mix it in really well.
Okay, soil prepped, stage set. Next up, sowing the seeds, planting the future, basically. Sounds simple, but I bet there's more to it.
There definitely is. First off, choosing the right seeds is critical. You want good quality, clean, healthy seeds, high-yielding ones if possible.
How do you tell good from bad?
Well, our sources mention a neat little trick. Damaged seeds are often hollow, lighter.
So if you put them in water...
They float.
Exactly.
The good, healthy seeds sink. It's a simple way to sort them. Obviously, modern agriculture uses certified seeds too, but it's a useful principle.
Clever. And the actual planting, how's that done?
Traditionally, maybe a funnel-shaped tool. Seeds dropped in, guided down through pipes into the soil, but today...
Another machine.
Usually, yes. The seed drill, attached to a tractor. It sows the seeds uniformly, same depth, same spacing, and it covers them soil straight away.
Why? Why cover them?
Protects them from being eaten by birds, mainly, and keeps them moist.
I've seen those little seedlings in nurseries, especially for things like rice. Why not start them there instead of planting seeds directly in the field?
Ah, good question. That's about giving certain plants, like paddy, a controlled, strong start. They grow into seedlings in the nursery, then get transplanted by hand into the field.
More labor-intensive, though.
It is, but for some crops, it really improves survival rates and eventual yield. It's also done for some forest trees and flowers, and regardless of method, proper spacing is key. You don't want plants too crowded.
Right. Competing for sunlight, water, nutrients.
Exactly. They need their space to thrive.
Okay, seeds are in. Now they need food themselves. Plants need nutrients. Our sources mention adding manure and fertilizers. What's the difference? Why is this step so vital?
Super vital, because growing crops continuously pulls nutrients out of the soil. You have to put them back in somehow. That's where manure and fertilizers come in.
Manure first. What is it exactly?
Manure is organic. It comes from decomposed plant and animal waste. Think compost, farmyard waste. Microorganisms break it down. It's natural, often made right on the farm. And crucially, it adds humus.
Humus.
Yeah.
Yes, that improves the soil structure.
Yes, improves texture, helps it hold water better, and feeds those friendly microbes. It's about building healthy soil over the long term.
Okay, and fertilizers.
Yes. They sound more industrial. They are. Fertilizers are man-made inorganic salts produced in factories. They're very concentrated in specific nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. You often hear farmers talk about NPK.
So they give a quick nutrient boost.
A very effective boost, yes. They've massively increased yields for crops like wheat and maize, but there's a downside.
Which is?
Overuse or using them incorrectly can actually damage the soil over time, make it less fertile. And runoff can cause water pollution. Big problem in some areas.
So it's a trade-off. Quick results versus long-term help.
Precisely. That's why there's a push towards using more organic manure or leaving fields fallow, unplanted sometimes, to let the soil recover naturally.
Any other techniques?
Crop rotation is a big one, an old technique that's very effective.
How does that work?
Okay. Nutrients sorted. What about water? Essential for everything. Irrigation.
Absolutely essential. Irrigation is just the regular supply of water to crops. Plants are, nearly 90% water?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that much. Water is needed for seeds to even germinate. It carries dissolved nutrients all around the plant. It even protects crops from frost and extreme heat, believe it or not. How often do they need watering? It must vary a lot.
Hugely. Depends on the crop.
Rice needs way more than wheat. It depends on the soil type. Sandy soil dries out faster than clay, and the season, much more needed in summer due to evaporation.
So where does the water come from?
All sorts of sources. Wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, dams, canals.
And getting it to the fields, what are the methods?
Traditionally, lots of human or animal power. Systems like the moat, which is a pulley system, or a chain pump. The Tekli and Rahat used levers. They worked, but
Inefficient.
cheaper maybe, but definitely less efficient for larger areas. Today, it's mostly pumps, powered by diesel, biogas, electricity, even solar now. Much more powerful.
And are there more modern water-saving methods? Water is getting scarcer.
Definitely, modern irrigation is all about water economy. Sprinkler systems are great, especially on uneven land. They rotating nozzles spray water like rain.
I've just seen those.
Yeah. But even more efficient, especially where water is really scarce, is the drip system.
Drip system.
Water is delivered literally drop by drop right at the base of the plant near the roots. Almost no water is wasted through evaporation or runoff. It's brilliant for fruit trees, gardens, vineyards, a real lifesaver in dry regions.
Okay, so we've got soil, seeds, nutrients, water, but then unwelcome guests arrive. Weeds.
Ah, yes, the constant battle. Weeds are just unwanted plants growing where you don't want them, and getting rid of them is called weeding.
Why is it so necessary? They're just plants.
But they compete. They fight the crop plants for everything: water, nutrients, space, sunlight. They can seriously reduce your yield. Some even interfere with harvesting, or it can be poisonous.
Right, so how do farmers fight back?
Several ways. Tilling before you even sow helps kill many weeds. Then there's manual removal, literally pulling them out or cutting them close to the ground with a tool like a kurpi. Best done before they flower and set seed, obviously.
Makes sense. Cut them off early.
Exactly. Even a seed drill can sometimes be used to uproot weeds.
What about chemicals? I've heard of weed killers.
Yes, weedicides. Chemicals like 2,4-D are sprayed to kill the weeds, but hopefully not the crop.
Hopefully.
Well, they need careful application, and this raises a big safety point. Farmers have to be really careful when spraying these, covering their nose and mouth. They can be harmful to health if not handled properly.
Another trade-off then. Convenience versus potential risk.
It often comes down to that, yes.
Okay, weeds dealt with. After months of all this work, finally the payoff. Harvesting. Cutting the mature crop.
Yes, the big moment. Cereal crops usually take about 3 to 4 months to mature. Harvesting can be done by hand with a sickle, the curved knife. Still common in many places.
Or machines, I assume.
Oh yes, on larger farms, machines called harvesters do the cutting. Then you need to separate the grain from the chaff, the stalks and husks. That's called threshing.
So, 2 steps. Cut and separate.
Traditionally, yes, but now there are machines called combines.
Combines because they combine the job.
Exactly. They harvest and thresh all in one go. Huge time and labor saver.
Seeing those fields golden and ready must feel amazing for the farmers.
It really is a time of joy, our sources say. A sense of accomplishment, relief, time to relax a bit after the hard work. That's why you have harvest festivals celebrated all over, like Pongal, Baisakhi, Holi, Diwali, Bihu in India. Big celebrations.
That's lovely. But there's a dark side too sometimes after harvest. The stubble burning.
Ah, yes, that's a serious issue. Sometimes the leftover stubble in the field is just burned off by farmers. It's quick, but it causes terrible air pollution. And sometimes the fires get out of control, damage other crops. It's a major environmental and safety concern they're trying to find solutions for.
Right. Okay, harvest is done, grains are separated, but you can't eat it all at once. Storage is next and sounds crucial.
Absolutely crucial. If you don't store it properly, all that hard work can be wasted. You need to protect the grain from moisture, insects, rats, microorganisms.
Moisture is a big one.
Yes, freshly harvested grains have quite a bit of moisture. They need to be dried properly, usually in the sun, before storing. Otherwise, they can get moldy, rot, or attract pests. Drying is key.
And then how is it stored? Depends on the scale?
It does. Small farmers might use winnowing first, using wind to separate leftover chaff, then store grain in jute bags or metal bins at home, sometimes using dried neem leaves as a natural insect repellent.
Like a traditional pantry staple.
Kind of, yeah. But for large amounts, you need proper facilities. Silos, those tall round towers, and granaries, these are built specifically to keep pests out.
Any other protections for large scale?
Often, yes. In big warehouses, they might need specific chemical treatments to protect the huge quantities of grain from insects and rodents over longer periods. It's a whole science in itself, just keeping the food safe after it's grown.
It really is. Now, we focused heavily on crops, plants, but our sources remind us that's not the whole food picture.
Not at all. Animals are a huge source of food, too. Milk, obviously, from cows, buffaloes, goats, even camels.
And fish.
Fish, definitely a major part of the diet, especially in coastal areas. And things like cod liver oil, rich in vitamin D, come from fish.
So when animals are raised specifically for food or products on farms, what's that called?
That whole practice, rearing animals on a large scale, providing proper food, shelter, care, is known as animal husbandry. It's a parallel world of food production, just as complex as crop farming.
Right. So we've covered a lot of ground, from ancient nomads to modern combines and silos. What's the big takeaway for you, the listener?
Well, I think it highlights the incredible amount of effort, knowledge, and yes, science that goes into producing our food. It's easy to take it for granted.
Definitely. Understanding Kharif versus Rabi, knowing about seed selection, the manure versus fertilizer debate, it all paints a picture of constant adaptation and ingenuity.
Absolutely. Every step, from turning the soil to fighting weeds to storing the grain safely, it's all part of this complex, continuous cycle needed to feed billions. It's a monumental task.
So the next time you're sitting down for a meal, maybe pause for just a second.
Yeah, think about it. Which of these practices we talked about helped bring that specific food to your plate? Was it grown in the rainy season? Was it irrigated by drip system? Were weeds a problem?
Considering that journey, it really can give you a whole new appreciation for what you're eating and the immense system that makes it possible.
Precisely. It connects you in a small way back to the soil, the seasons, and the people involved in that fundamental act of growing food.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Thanks for watching. Support us with a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Access more resources anytime on our website or app.